Words. Check the audio settings. Uploading some stuff right now. Basically, I'm going to do this on Patreon because I haven't done a Patreon video recently, and also because I don't know if it's a debate or a conversation necessarily. I don't think Jill can have a non-debate conversation with an evolutionist unless it's regarding something that's a completely different topic or something, right? So we'll see. But I do enjoy conversing with Jill, so I am looking forward to this. Really slow, really wonky. Oh, it's been so slow just on mic settings, but weird. So I'll just turn it up a little extra if I have to. See if it's too loud or not. Doesn't look like it. Okay, that's 14, 17. Okay, we'll just go ahead and play this one while we're waiting for the other one to upload.
I don't know how you categorize.
So any creature without fins. So he's a giraffe.
You can categorize animals how you wish. Doesn't matter. It's not science.
So koala bears are apes.
Doesn't matter. So Joe, you can put them in any category you want based on similarities, based on DNA similarities, based on.
Listen, we know you're not science. We know you're not a teacher.
Who cares? No one cares what category you put one animal in as opposed to another.
I want to make I'm just asking you if you know what an ape is, because how do you know when you're looking at an ape? Clearly you can't.
It's an animal. It's an animal.
Yeah, okay, there are lots of animals. What distinguishes
an animal that you gave a label to? You could have called it something else.
Joe, if I show you a picture of an ape, how do you know it's an ape? No, if I show you a picture of an ape, how do you know it's an ape?
Because someone called a creature with those characteristics.
Yeah, it was Adam.
Okay, but if I show you a picture of a creature, what about the creature makes you think ape?
The characteristics are given to that creature. We labeled ape. That's all.
What characteristics? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying so. If I show you a picture and I say, Jill, what animal is this?
I'm going to say that's an airplane because that's the label we've given to that animal that has those characteristics. That's all.
Okay, but here's the question. If I hold up a picture and I say, Jill, what animal is this? What makes you say ape instead of elephant?
Because the label, if you're listening, pay attention, liberal. Because the label that we've been given for there's the label characteristics is ape. That's what I'm going to call it.
Right, but I'm asking you for some of those characteristics.
I got a question for Jill. I've got a question for Jill. Jill,
not rocket science.
Okay, Jill, what isn't an ape?
Whatever characteristics we say do not belong in a category is not an ape. It's taxonomy.
A creature not created in the image of God is an ape.
It's taxonomy. It's not science. You can call it an ape. You can label it an ape.
I'm using your label.
You can label anything you want.
Wait a second. Isn't God an ape then? Because God wasn't created in the image of God.
That's true.
God wasn't created, so.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Not created at all, so. He's not in either category, actually.
Ladies and gentlemen, they sunk the battleship.
So you worked up an ape, still. All taxonomy is just organizing animals based on whatever characteristics you want to use.
Jill, what's an ape?
You can make up your own taxonomy if you like.
So I want to make sure, like,
you can organize animals based off of their color.
We back. Yeah, you could organize animals based off of their color, but that would be color coordinating, not taxonomy. Reason. All right. So Jill's making several claims here. I don't want to straw man. I don't know exactly what he's going to claim tonight, but it's going to be something like there's no such thing as an ape, or there's no such thing as the common ancestor ape, right? The great apes. I'm wondering where he's going to go with that. So, what he said, oh yeah, taxonomy. So we should have some slides I got here on the various subjects. That's right, you're not going to see that anymore. Oops. I think I need OBS to full screen my avatar. Thank you to Silver Wolf for this new trusty ape avatar I'm using. All right. Okay, so now we'll go through this long process and just go down the line. I selected a number of images here, and I'll probably read from the origin. Oh, okay. Okay. Start out with this one. Okay. These are ape skeletons, living apes. You got the gibbon all the way to the left, human, chimpanzee, facing the opposite direction, the gorilla, and far right, the orangutan. And they're placing these like this, I mean, to show you the very, very clear similarities. There's a very obvious structural similarity between all of these modern ape species. We have another here. Sorry, it's taking a second. Okay, and these are with the flesh on, and they're showing them to scale with each other. So these are relatively, they're the true size relative to one another. I'll just remove my icon so you can see better. And it's not like blocking a hand, but you see those gibbons. So this is the form relative to each other. Obviously, we're the only hairless apes, or very nearly hairless apes. So that's one distinct difference. But a lot of people would say that is because of our use of fire, tools, and covering with clothing, things like that. So there's a reason for our hairlessness. Or reason, I should say. Okay, there's the great apes, the hominidae, whose members are known as the great apes or hominids, are a taxonomic family of primates that include 8 extant species and 4 genera: Pongo, gorilla, Pan, and Homo, of which only modern humans remain. Right, so you have the other Homo species, Homo erectus, Homo habilis, all of those human ancestors in the genus Homo. Okay, got some text. human, relating to or characteristic of people or human beings. A human being, especially a person as distinguished from an animal, or in science fiction, an alien. Okay. I'm loading up the StreamYard queue here for overlay. Zoology, the scientific study of the behavior, structure, physiology, classification, and distribution of animals. Okay, so this is zoology, a branch of science, a branch of scientific study encompassing all of these various. And so we do distinguish between the study of humans and the study of all other animals in the field of zoology. Okay, so that's true. But I mean, to be fair, we just study ourselves because we are human. It's not like you couldn't. I mean, so that's why humans are incorporated into the taxonomic that thing called, you know, the tree of life, whatever. Taxonomy, part of biology, the branch of science concerned with classification, especially of organisms, systematics. The classification of something, especially organisms, and a system of classification. So, right, Jill is correct in a sense that this is a branch of science in which we place labels on groups of animals, and then we, lump them together in their groups based on their characteristics and similarities between them, which is how humans get into this ape family, right? This primate family. Okay, primate from zoology, right? So this is like all these branches, these fields of science, they overlap, right? They work together to make all these, classifications. um, I don't want to call it canon, but they peer review each other. They check each other's work to make sure that all the shit coalesces. Primate, mammal of an order that includes lemurs, bush babies, tarsiers, marmosets, monkeys, apes, and humans. Monkeys, apes, and humans. You catch that? Three distinct things. They are distinguished by having hands, feet that are similar to hands, and forward-facing eyes, and with the exception of humans, are typically agile tree dwellers. And there's plenty of evidence that we probably were at some point in the past too. And it comes from the Latin. So we didn't just make this shit up. Like even ancient peoples saw these very clear similarities. The lag is killing me. And there you go, 8. I did not crop this one. It's hard to read. A large primate that Phoenix Electric Circus is live. Oh, I really needed to zoom in on this. I think I have another version of this though. A large primate that lacks a tail, including the gorilla, chimpanzee, orangutan, and gibbon. There were 3 other characteristics though. Number C, right? Did I not get it? Damn it. I think it said lacking the tail, being bipedal, I believe was one of them too. So there's a few things that distinguish them. And fun, here's this. What is an ape? A creature not created in the image of God. Never fall for the what is an ape question. Taxonomy is not science. So, and what he means here is that taxonomy itself doesn't use what you're going to call the scientific method, right? You can't verifiably prove the taxonomic record is accurate, right? Without, because there's so many extinct creatures on there, or yeah, there's so because you can't test and prove every piece of it, Jill's saying, well, it's not legitimate science, but it works in it collaborates with the other sciences, right? They don't just make the stuff up out of whole cloth. They take what biologists already know and what zoologists already know, and they incorporate all of that knowledge to complete the taxonomic record. And they're constantly improving it, just like any other field of science. So without knowing exactly what Jill's going to say, we get some idea of what we're up against here. So he's saying, what is an ape? You can't describe an ape. Well, sure, you can. You can give descriptions of an ape. Damn, pen's my favorite pen too. It's going out. All right. So an ape is a primate without a tail, with hands and feet similar to the hands, and they walk upright. I might add that these are all social species. That's also something that's common to ape species. Okay, so there you have a group of characteristics in which we can classify what apes are, and kind of go from there. Now he's going to say, can you show me an ape in the, well, no, but I can show you humans, and that's the same thing. But Chill's not going to believe that. Because man was created in the image of God. Okay, if we go a bit further back, I know I cropped these screenshots, but where's the stage? Okay, must be it. And that's not it. That's the original, but it's not the one I cropped. Damn it, Jim. To go back and redo all this. It's going to be such a pain in the ass. All images. No, they're not in here. Well, that's disappointing. Wonder where they saved to. Alright, well, I guess I'll have to read comments another time. That's not going to work now. Damn. Yeah, I went through and I cropped all of them, but I don't see the copies, so. Souls. Alright, we'll listen to what Jill said one more time. I mean, it's kind of hard for him to make his point here, and we come into it midway while everybody's kind of fucking with him at this point. So I'm not sure exactly where this apparently originates from. Jill, claiming that we can't describe or or point out an ape in nature.
I've got a question for Jill. Jill, not rocket science. Okay, Jill, what isn't an ape? Whatever characteristics we say do not belong to a category is not an ape. It's taxonomy. A creature not created in the image of God is an ape. It's taxonomy. It's not science. You can call it an ape. You can label it an ape. I'm using your label. You can label anything you want.
Wait a second. Isn't God an ape then? Because God wasn't created in the image of God.
That's true. God wasn't created, so. Yeah. Oh, damn. Not created at all, so. He's not in either category, actually. Ladies and gentlemen, they have sunk the battleship. So you work up an ape still. All taxonomy is just organizing animals based on whatever characteristics you want to use. Joe, what's an ape? You can make up your own taxonomy if you like. So I want to make sure, like, you can organize animals based off of their color.
Call it an ape, but don't make it so. I guess. I mean, that's just like your opinion, man. So, but once again, we got pretty specific criteria for what falls into the ape category, and unfortunately for you, that includes humans. And scientists the world over agree on that, no matter what field they're in. Nobody's arguing with the taxonomic record except for you.
I don't know how you categorize.
So any creature without fins. So is a giraffe?
You can categorize animals how you wish. Doesn't matter. It's not science.
So koala bears are apes.
Doesn't matter. So Joe, you can put them in any category you want based on similarities, based on DNA similarities, based on
business intelligence. We know you're not science. We know you're not a teacher.
Who cares? Wait. No one cares what category you put one animal in as opposed to another. I want to make sure.
No, I'm just asking you if you know what an ape is. Because how do you know when you're looking at an ape? Clearly, you can't.
It's an animal. It's an animal.
Yeah, okay. There are lots of animals. What distinguishes
it's an animal that you gave a label to. You could have called it. You could have called it something else.
Joe, if I show you a picture of an ape, how do you know it's an ape? No, if I show you a picture of an ape, how do you know it's an ape?
Because someone called a creature with those characteristics. Yeah, it was Adam. It was
okay, but if I show you a picture of a creature, if I show you a picture of a creature, what about the creature makes you think ape?
The characteristics are given to that creature we labeled ape. That's all.
What characteristics? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying so. If I show you a picture and I say, Jill, what animal is this?
I'm going to say that's an airplane because that's the label we've given to that animal that has those characteristics. That's all.
Okay, but here's the question. If I hold up a picture and I say, Jill, what animal is this? What makes you say ape instead of elephant?
Because the label, if you're listening, pay attention, liberal. Because the label that we've been given for there's the label characteristics is ape. That's why I'm going to call
it. But I'm asking you for some of those characteristics.
I got a question for Jill.
Arguing with himself is what the characteristics of the thing are what we call apes, right? Anything with the characteristics of an ape, you can fall into that category. If you can call it anything else, sure, but we call it ape, right? Everybody on the planet decided we're going to call these things apes. You know, they're primates without tails. They got hands that kind of match their feet. They walk upright, opposable thumbs, social species, all that good shit, right? Roll that into a bundle. Those are apes, right? And Jill's like, no, it's not ape. It's not ape because I don't want to call it ape. I hope he's got a more sophisticated argument, but I'm not, I don't know. I'm not buying. Yes, very entertaining. Thank you for coming, Phil Wolf. And, yeah, pretty much my little debate prep. I just wanted to check those clips if I have specific claims again. And then I've got my little slides I was looking at, and then I want to read some, see if there's anything in Origin of Species for me to kind of sink my teeth into before we go on here. And a little over an hour. Wow. So really, there's only one direct reference in the appendix here. Let's see if something's under Great Ape. There's literally only one reference to ape in the appendix in A, which I think is crazy. This is the Origin of Species, but this is what it is. See, it doesn't say what people think it says all the time. But it does. I mean, it probably talks more about apes. It's the only one that has a specific reference number. All right, so we'll see what that one says. I'll skim through here and see if I find anything else. So the P primate. Nothing for primate. Okay, so we'll just go to this one. 82 anyone? $282. Seals, bat. Lastly, more than one writer has asked, why have some animals had their mental powers more highly developed than others, as such development would be advantageous to all? Why have not apes acquired the intellectual powers of man? Various causes could be assigned, but as they are conjectural and their relative probability cannot be weighed, it would be useless to give them. A definite answer to the latter question ought not to be expected, seeing that no one can solve the simpler problem, why, of two races of savages, one has risen higher in the scale of civilization than the other, and this apparently implies increased brain power. And that's all it really says there. It goes on to insects. So these are actually, and this is from the miscellaneous objections to his argument at this point, is where that comes from. So interesting. Let's go straight to the contents and see anything else. It's all about natural selection. I think this is good because this, before the chapter before the conclusion, mutual affinities of organic beings, morphology, embryology, rudimentary organs, classification, groups subordinate to groups, natural system, rules and difficulties in classification explained on the theory of descent with modification, classification of varieties, descent always used in classification, analogical or adaptive characters, affinities, general, complex, and radiating. Extinction separates and defines groups. Morphology, between members of the same class, between parts of the same individual. Embryology, laws of, explained by variations not supervening at an early age and being inherited at a corresponding age. Rudimentary organs, their origin explained in summary. So essentially what he's talking about, taxonomy, like the system of classification that we use, right, is, so this is in part something that they use to help refine the theory of natural selection and descent with modification. Because once they were able to put these creatures on a, comparative, like a side-by-side chart, essentially, then they're able to see why and how the species adapted differently, right? Even though they may be part of the same species. So part of that taxonomic classification is more evidence of evolution, right? But they didn't get it from the theory of evolution. They just got it by classifying animals. It just happened to correspond and confirm the theories that Darwin put forward. I did get another. Oh no, that's right. Oh, no. Those are all both on human anatomy and biology, not, so it doesn't have anything. Apes in there. I need more biology books. I always love that part. I love when people call me liberal. I'll go in as the liberal ape. Just start off with that one. I'll just put it as my audio name or whatever. On a little boop boop down here on StreamYard. Like the liberal ape. Get that one right out of the way. Can't hurt me by calling me liberal. Got a Mountain Dew to jack me up when I go on. Try not to get too stoned. But I don't want to be all giddy when I get in there either. Since I am going on his channel, I'm guessing he'll be okay with it. I'll ask him when I get on. Try to mirror the stream back onto my channel. Although I won't be able to do that until I have the Chromebook back. Yeah, liberal. I let that shit roll off. I don't even address it when he does that. I'm so used to it though. One of my best friends from school calls me liberal all the time too. So, or commie. He always calls us fucking commies. Me and his brother. Yeah, I'm numb to that shit. Yeah, it's the fucking comments I need to just go fucking redo those comments. It's still not showing up. I can't read my comments. And I've got my notepad, make notes. And want to see this insanity? This is great. So I did this over the course of the last couple of days. My therapist told me to draw like a plan, like a actually map out like my plan for the future, like whatever the immediate future. And so, and then I ended up doodling on it while I was listening to streams and shit. So this came out, and I don't know what all that is. Trippian. Liberal. The liberal ape. I'll write that down. That's how more weird shit ends up on this folder. Good enough. I don't need to overdo it. Yeah. I don't know what else to do with that. I feel like I should be reading more, but then like I don't know. I don't want to actually like. I need to like I don't know. Like what are the relevant notes here? So Jill thinks taxonomy is bullshit, or it's not science. Not science, apparently. And then see, he said it. He's like, well, that's the characteristics of the thing that we're talking about. Based on those characteristics, I could call it X, right? In this case, ape. But for some reason, he's saying that there is no ape, right? He's like, apes, because I'm pretty sure he said, prove apes exist or something to that. I should probably go see exactly. So he was like, you have to prove that apes exist, was what he was saying. And I'm like, well, I exist, so I'm proof that an ape exists, right? Like not just because of my YouTube channel, right? But because, as we read earlier, they're saying the only surviving species of what we call apes are the ones we saw, right? The orangutan, the gorilla, the gibbon, us. What was the other one? Bonobo? I think it's bonobo. Can't remember now. Let me see, put it back up. Are there 4 or 5? 5. 5 including. Oh no, the chimp. The chimp was the other one, not the bonobo. So bonobos are. Oh no, it is bonobo. Well, I guess bonobos are chimps according to this one. Yeah. Those guys. But we're the only Homo ape left. So we had the other homos, and now we're the last homo. I should just keep saying that to Jill until he freaks out. That'll be. You're one of the last homos, Jill. You'll love it. Until you stop being such a homo, but you can't. No. Go all juvenile with it. Yeah, I don't think there's really much more I could do to prep for this. Maybe I could watch a couple of videos or something while I'm waiting. Pretty much it. I'll try to chillax. Clear my thoughts for a second before I go jumble them up again. Yeah, I'll have to throw that one out there. That should get a chuckle out of him. Oh, killed another earbud. Yeah, I've been having serious trouble keeping charge on my device the last couple of days. But I shouldn't need these, I don't think. Well, I might try to use it. I'm talking to Jill. I wonder if I should do that or just go into call mode. I don't know if he's going to try to show anything on screen or allow me to show anything on screen. Initially, I was thinking that the slides, I was like, well, maybe I can. But I was like, oh, I won't be able to share it in his screen, in his stream, unless he enables that that thing where we can stream it to both channels. And I think it'll give me my branding option. But I think he still has to. I'm not sure. It's not like a screen share, so it might not work. I can't screen share from mobile, so. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited to be talking to Jill again. It's been a while. Yeah. We get on all right, I think, with our other people in the room. I feel like, he's the type of guy I probably have a pretty good conversation with about a lot of other topics, just not like really important shit. It's kind of funny, But yeah, he's also got pretty disturbing views deep down under the surface. Seen some of those nasty ones. But a lot of Christians do, All right. Well, it's almost 4 o'clock, so wish me luck, and I'll see you there. All right. Much love. Play the whole thing this time. Makes me laugh every time.
We all come from apes, but I don't throw ape in every conversation. Use ape to define myself. Use ape as an excuse to defecate in my thumbless mitt and then hurl it at you. I'm sorry, did I just splatter you with wet feces? I'm sorry, I have a very rich ape upbringing, a strong ape heritage.